Welcome back into another episode of NA Now. I'm Brandon Hofstra, joined with head coach of the Johnstown Tomahawks, Mike Letizia. Mike, thanks for taking some time out of your day to do this with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Let's jump right into last year. It was kind of an up and down season for you guys. You had a good run towards the end of the season, but came up just a bit short with 2 points shy of the playoffs. How do you look to get back last year and find some success that you found late and get into the playoffs?
Well, I think the first half consistency kind of doomed us a little bit. We had some up and down throughout. Early on we had a little trouble scoring and a little trouble keeping the puck out of our net. So when you have those two combination, doesn't really lead to too much success. But we kind of battled some inconsistency. But we had a lot of young guys that I thought in the second half really turned around and kind of drove our team quite a bit. Obviously our veterans had some impact as well, but I thought our rookies that kind of took off in the second half were big time drivers of the bit of success we had in the second half. I think that we proved that, with a little more consistency throughout the year, we probably would be in that playoffs. But unfortunately, at the end, we fell a win short and it left a bad taste in our mouth. So, got to have a great training camp. Got to drive home the identity again of Johnstown hockey and getting that consistency and that compete level. And then ultimately, too, I think what's going to be important for us. The War Memorial in Johnstown is a really special place to play, and I think that if we can really bury home that home ice advantage for us, it's going to pay off dividends for sure.
You guys came into the offseason a bit early, like we just kind of talked about, but talk about the NAHL draft and what were some key points and key holes you were looking to fill coming into this offseason.
Well, I think just based upon pure numbers, we need to fill our back end and our goaltending. I think that's kind of what we did as we approached the draft. We drafted a goaltender in the first round, drafted a defenseman that we think is going to be pretty impactful in the second round. And we kind of built some other holes along the way, with some bigger forwards, also some younger forwards maybe for the future, because we did have a fair amount of forwards that could return. But, we felt we needed to really, beef up the strength of our back end as well as in the net. I think we finished in the top 10 in goals scored, but unfortunately we're kind of the lower part of the goals against. And if we can defend better and, again, not chase the game as much. Hopefully, we can get the balance in the offense and the defense and make more success. So I think we approached that a bit in the draft, and hopefully, it coming on main camp, it looked like it was heading in the right direction. So as we start training camp, we got to continue to build on that.
100%. Johnstown was the first true East Division team, and now that division is up to 9 teams with the addition of Rochester in New Hampshire. How excited are you to see the NAHL grow in the East and give these kids some more development paths to continue to pursue and hone their craft in the game of hockey?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I think it just speaks volumes of what the league has been able to do with how many teams want to come in this league and the markets that want to be in this league. There's no secret what the NHL is all about. I don't think I just I think we do a better job than anybody in terms of marketing our league, marketing our players, and you just see the results and the Division One commitments and NCAA commitments as a whole. I think that's why a lot of the teams are coming in, and for us, it's exciting to add two new opponents. I think for our home fans as well, it's cool to see a couple new opponents in there. It diversifies the schedule a little bit as well, and again, it opens up more doors to viewings on the college road too, because there's colleges nearby those arenas that they can get there in a quick bit. And again, just all we can do to promote our players is what we're about. And I think again, adding those two teams is going to be huge for the East, and looking forward to getting into those markets.
Yeah, exposure, exposure, exposure. Who are some of these returners that are coming back this upcoming season that you and your staff are going to be leaning on as producers and leaders in both standpoints?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look up front. I think last year Zach Aben as a rookie, was really a big part of our team. Unfortunately, he had a upper body injury towards the end of January that put him off for the rest of the season. But he's healthy now. He's a big time leader. Will Lawrence stepped up in a big way for us down the stretch. Will Moore, committed to RIT middle of the summer with a great end of the second half last year. Guys up front like that, Panico Rapp. I think the biggest thing about we try to do is give everybody the opportunity to contribute to our team. So those are just a few guys that we mentioned, and we have a couple of returning veteran D Holt, Shaner, Hixie that I think can as younger guys, 04s, 05s, are ready to step up. But I think that we have the ability, hopefully, to lean on everybody in different ways. I thought Ryan Johnson had a really good main camp for us this summer. So guys that I think are in the position where they have the opportunity to step up and increase their role, but at the same time they're going to have to do it, and then it's not just doesn't happen. So the opportunities are going to be there. I thought we we also drafted and tendered some junior veterans as well as some young AAA prep guys that hopefully can make an impact. But ultimately, it's about kind of, again, like I said, getting back to the identity that with skill and meat and potatoes and tough hockey that has made us successful over the last while here, and kind of rebranding that again, and it starts in training camp and starting fresh on day one, and everybody buying into that atmosphere.
Definitely. The East Division seems to send a new team to the Robertson Cup every year. What is it going to take for you guys to get to Blaine?
Yeah, I mean it's consistency and embracing that grind. Like you said, there's a new team every year. I mean, New Jersey won it a few years ago, and then they didn't get there again this year as much as they wanted to, but it just kind of shows the Maryland had a great year. They didn't make the playoffs the year before. They come back and they win our division. They have been Blaine. So I think that's how quickly things can change. And for us again, it's making sure that consistency, that compete level factor, that willing to win. We talked a lot last year about winning, and I think the process of getting there is super important. So I think building that team chemistry on and off the ice is huge. It starts right away early. Again, having some guys that have been through it and can return. You like to think you have a little bit of a nucleus of that, of guys who didn't like the way things ended last year, but also saw some positivity and how some improvements we made throughout the year. Just unfortunately didn't get into the playoffs. So that bitter taste in the mouth has to be the driving factor as we start camp. And we want to have a competitive training camp for sure. And then we start the season right off with Maryland, so it's not like we have an easy test right off the bat, Maryland on the road. So, but that's a great challenge for us, to get going. And then we have, 4 games of the showcase. They're going to be challenging as well, but that's what you're here for. Give the guys the opportunity to play a hard, meaningful game, put guys to the next level and win on the way.
You've been to the showcase a few times. Talk about that event and how awesome and how special it really is for a lot of these players to get that much exposure in 4 games, like you just said.
Yeah, it's incredible. I've been there quite a bit, but for a lot of these guys living their first time there, and just when you pull up to the arena and you see all the buses and you see the amount of people that are rolling in, and you see the line of scouts and spectators and from everywhere, and then you kind of just get that feel where the intensity just never leaves. For the four days of games that you're there, the intensity literally never leaves. And the arenas are packed, and it's pretty special. And I think when you're a player and you walk in the door, and it blows you away, but at the same time, it's one of the best things about being a part of this league is going to those events, and you can kick off the season and playing with the showcase. You really can't ask for anything more as a player.
You guys get tremendous support in your local community. Talk about how the locals there in Johnstown make that just one of the best atmospheres in the NAHL.
Well, I think it's just such a special community. It's blue collar. They're very hardworking people. And we are extremely fortunate. There's no question about it. I don't think it's anything any of us take for granted. When you're in that community, you're a part of it. You're not just the Tomahawks, you're part of Johnstown. And I think that's what makes it special. We have fantastic billet families. And again, the fan support is amazing. I can't say it enough. So that's kind of what I was alluding to about, wanting to make sure that we get that home ice advantage. And we've had, we've done, relatively well, but I think if we can really, really, pick up that home ice advantage that's been special and known in Johnstown, I think it'll do really well for us. And, we know the support's going to be there from the fans, and we want to make sure we're giving them everything we have.
Mike, we appreciate you doing this, and we will see you in a few weeks in Blaine, Minnesota. Good luck.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.